Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. Happy whatever day of vlogmas this is. I'm actually filming this early just because all of this happened last night and it's fresh in my mind. My camera battery is flashing already and I don't have another one with me, so hopefully we make it through this whole video, but we'll see. We're just gonna jump right into it. So if you are new to my channel, my mom passed away in October of 2018. She got lost while hiking in the Smoky Mountains, and I have all those videos in a playlist on my channel if you're interested in watching that. So ever since she passed away, I thought it would be cool, like in my dreams, to go see the Long Island medium. Her name is Theresa Caputo. And I was like, if that would happen, that would be awesome. I would love a reading with her. However, her waiting list is miles long, and it's pretty expensive. So I was scrolling through Facebook a few months ago and I saw something that she was coming to Cincinnati, Ohio. And I'm like, I live there, that would be awesome, and let me buy tickets. So I had it notified in my phone to send me a reminder when these tickets went on sale to buy them. And so I was at my brother's, it was like a basic training camp for the Army graduation, and I was sitting there buying these tickets, but I got tickets for two of my mom's sisters and myself to go and see Theresa, her like live experience or whatever. And basically the way the show was run, I did not know this at the time, but basically the way it's run is that she kind of like tells her story and then goes into reading people just walking through the audience. I had no idea that she was going to be walking through the audience, or I would have bought different seats. I wanted to be able to see. I don't know why. I thought something was going to go on. And she was just going to stay on the stage. So I was like, oh, I'll just get like first row in the balcony, and then I can like be right there and watching, and I can see everything. Not even thinking that she would walk around. I don't know what I was thinking, but it wasn't that she was going to walk around. But I ended up getting tickets that day and taking both of my aunts. Flash forward since July, the day comes, yesterday now, and we finally get to go see her. The girl next to me went by herself, and as soon as I sat down next to her, she was like, "Are you so nervous? Are you so nervous for this?" And I was like, "No, I mean, not really." I'm kind of excited. I think this will be fun. I don't know what to expect though. I guess I should probably explain this to you. We were in a big theater with like 2,000 people, and it was not a personalized reading or anything. It was just like her going on tour. So the likelihood of getting a reading was not very good anyway, but my seats did not help. So she starts off the show and says that like not everyone in the room is going to be getting a reading. Obviously there's a lot of people there. She just can't do it. But then she says, instead of walking away disappointed, walk away knowing that those people needed the reading more than you did. And you know, there I am being very selfish, being like, well, I obviously went through a horrible tragedy. I couldn't even imagine anyone needing a reading more than I would. I was so wrong. Oh my gosh. So long story short, we did not get a reading in person there or anything like that, but it humbled me so much to have walked in thinking I'm so selfish, you know, I need this the most, you know, all of that, and then walking out and being like, at least I'm not in some of those other people's shoes. So I'm very thankful for that. But I did just want to share about kind of what my experience was going through it. Back in the day, I doubted all like mediums and psychics and all of that. I was like, that's freaking ridiculous. That's so bizarre. Not something I believe in. Absolutely, now that I've gone through the past like year and a half of my life, I'm like, I believe it 100%. And I mean, yeah, I do. I 100% do. She basically starts the reading and comes down the stairs and stops at these group of girls and does their reading. I don't really remember much of everyone's, but there's a few readings that stuck out to me. She got to an older lady and her son, and her husband had passed away, so his dad had passed away, and like she would be like, this kid was like mocking her and all sorts of stuff. He was probably in his like upper 20s, lower 30s. He was like mocking her, obviously 100% did not believe it. And then she was like, well, did your dad, were you with him like right after he died, and you had like just a single tear strolling down like your face when you were like leaning in to talk to him? And he literally, she gave him a microphone. he threw it to the ground and literally walked out because he could not handle like the emotions that came with like her being able to know that. And I was like, oh boy, we're about to get into it here, friends. Oh, and you weren't allowed to record in here, which I completely understand. At first I was like, well, that's silly, why wouldn't I be allowed to? But then like the emotions that people share, like I feel like you would be very self-conscious about that if you knew it was being broadcasted, if that makes sense. But there were these three guys, or there's three groups of people, and all three of them had loved ones who had passed away with pancreatic cancer. None of these people knew each other, none of them knew each other's stories, but all three of their loved ones were like right there and communicating with them and like speaking through Theresa, I guess. But this one man, he was sitting on the edge and he was just literally the whole time in a fit of tears, like face red, tears just all down his face. And like he was like the type of guy you just wanted to go just give him a hug, like you felt so bad for him. And he's what started to make me realize there are other people who need this more than I do. Because she started talking and he was like, yeah, well, I have 9 siblings, 4 of them have passed away. My parents both passed away. He's like in a rocky place with his job right now. And she was like telling him things like, what do like the number 9 mean and the months of April and October? And he was like, my like best friend or something passed away in April, and then my recent sibling passed away last month in October. And then we're like, oh my gosh. And then he's one of 9. And then he went into it even farther and he was like, I can't even like begin to describe, like I'm feeling like survivor's guilt, like I shouldn't be here, blah, 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 blah. And I was like listening to this man just pour his heart out. It was incredible. And then she was like, I just sensed that like you didn't want to come tonight. And he was like, no, I didn't. And she was like, why not? And he was like, I just knew you would find me and let my feelings out. And I was like, oh my gosh. She moved around and talked to a lot of different people, but I think one of the biggest ones that like impacted me was there was a girl, we were sitting on the balcony, and so she was under us talking to those people, so they had cameras. There was a girl, she looked to be about like my age, maybe a little bit older, and Theresa kept going around and being like touching herself, and like you could see that she was feeling pain, and she was like, I'm sensing like a trauma, like not like a hit, but like gosh, what is that called? I don't know, like a hit, a collision, something like that. And then drowning, who connects with those things? And she's like walking all around, she's like, I can't tell who connects with this, I don't know where this is coming from, I can't feel it out. And then one girl like suddenly raises her hand, and she's a bit older than me, and she was like, I think that's me. And she was like, it's a young man coming forward and he wants to let you know that like it's not your fault. And she was like, well, something happened where he wasn't supposed to be working, was supposed to be working, something like that, and he went home early and she was following him going the similar direction. And they've been best friends since like elementary school or something, and he ended up wrecking his car, rolling it down a hill and then dropping it into a creek, which comes from the collision and then the water and the drowning. And so she was the one who, driving a little bit behind him, found him. And she said she lives with such like a guilt about it. And I haven't shared this with you guys as subscribers, but when I was 19, one of my best guy friends was killed in a motorcycle accident. And I never really talked about that on my channel, but like hearing her talk about this accident with like her literally like best friend, and she didn't know how to cope or anything like that, like man, that was a lot. And I mean, they're completely different situations, but it was like she needed to hear that, and I could just tell by looking at her she needed to hear that more than I needed to hear from anyone. And that was crazy. She was talking to like a set of parents who had lost like multiple children, and that they keep the rooms the same, and like letting them know like it's okay to keep the room the same, it's okay to change it, it's okay to do either of those things. She also got around to someone, the lady was like bust out in laughter, and she was like, my sister would not believe that I'm paying for this. And Theresa looked at her and was like, yeah, because she's been coming to in your dreams forever, and you won't believe that that's her. And the lady was like, that's exactly right. And it was just crazy because, you know, I have dreams about my mom sometimes, and like you want to think, oh, it's just my brain messing with me, but the way that she was able to word it, it was like, wow. But I think like big takeaways that I've gotten from going was that, you know, it's not just something crazy with seeing like a cardinal or a hummingbird or a dime on the ground. Like a lot of that, like if you work your brain right, it could just be coincidence, but if you work your brain right the other way, it could be like, you know, their spirit sending you a message. Like she was like, obviously they're not the cardinal and they are not the hummingbird, but it's like sending you a message and letting you know that they are still there, I guess, if that makes sense. I do want to say there was just like a lot going on last night, and it was like very emotional, and you know, she would move you to tears and then just laughter the next second, because she was like, that's part of the healing process, is you got to cry it out and then you have to move on to living your life and like laughing again, and your loved ones obviously want that for you. Like there was a lady who was, Theresa kept saying, what's with the chair, what's with the chair, and the lady was like, I sold it. And she was like, yes, your sister wants you to know that that's okay to do. But I want to end with a dream. Once I got home last night, it was super late and I had to get up early this morning, but I had a dream last night, and I don't usually have dreams about my mom anymore, but I had a dream that I was still at the show last night, and we were all packing up to leave, and instead of like exiting on stage like she did last night, Theresa like moved through the audience with her like security guard team. And I remember like as she was passing me, she grabbed my arm, and then she looked at me, and Theresa told me that, hey, I just want to let you know that she loves the flowers. And I was like, she loves the flowers, what the heck? And then I started thinking about it, and it like woke me up, and I started thinking about it, and I was like, wow, she loves the flowers. My grandma has a gorgeous flower garden that she named Susie's Garden right after my mom passed away. I took my mom's funeral flowers and made them into like artwork on the wall. I dried some for my wedding, and I made like flower crowns for pictures. My aunt, who is my mom's sister, took up the hobby of planting seedlings and growing them into flowers. She like transformed her whole house to like be able to accommodate all of this stuff, to like build like these gorgeous like flower setup stuff. I'm in the middle of designing like my bouquets for my wedding and like all sorts of stuff, and I was like, I woke up and I was like, wow, that is literally crazy. Like she loves the flowers. I feel like that's a message like my grandma would need to know about, like my grandma's flower garden, that I would need to know about, like spending all the time working on like putting them in frames, and then like working on the different bouquets for my wedding, and then my aunt growing all the flowers from seedlings. I was like, wow, that's so cool. And it's just like, so like, it makes me think that that was my mom after like going to the Theresa show and then being told like so much that, oh yeah, it's real when they come to you in dreams. And I'm like, oh, this is crazy. I would love a personalized reading one day, but you know, it is what it is for right now. But I'm glad I got that video out of the way before my camera died. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Happy Vlogmas. Remember to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys tomorrow for another video. Bye!